Hello friends, I hope you're doing well today. Today I want to talk to you about me trying to do my nails at home by myself. I've had my nails like this for the last 5 years on and off, and I've been going to the same nail technician for the last year and a half, give or take, maybe just a year. For my birthday, I decided to spend however much money it takes to buy all the products except for the e-file. The e-file was just too expensive and out of my budget for a student, right? So everything gets shipped home and I'm really excited. I am pumped to get this started. And if I refer to Hobby, he's my boyfriend. So I borrowed Hobby's Dremel, for his tools. That's what he used it for. And I was like, it's the same thing, or he thought it was the same thing. So I agreed with him. And I already bought the bits off of the internet, and I'm like, let me just put those in and all will be fine. So I'm sitting down, I'm getting ready to take off the nail color, and I put the bit inside the drill. And it doesn't fit. It doesn't, why does it not fit? Why is it just, So clearly I'm furious at this point. I did not want to spend another couple $100 on an e-file, and I couldn't do it at home myself because it was just taking too long and it was really difficult. So I call Hobby in the middle of the night, super angry, and he goes, so apparently he bought me an e-file for my birthday. And I'm like, cool, awesome, you the best. So the next day I come over at his place, and his place is a bit better to do this because he has windows on all the walls, so it's super bright there. And I'm having a great time. I set up, he makes his food, my cat's there, having a great time. And I sit down and I play with the bits and whatever I want to use on the e-file. The ones I ordered off eBay were a harder material, and the ones that came with the with the e-file was different. So I choose to use the sandpapery one because I found that it didn't eat away at my nails too hard or hot, because sometimes your nails get too hot and it hurts, it burns, and I'm a little wuss when it comes to those things, so I'd rather take 10 hours and hurt myself in the process. So acrylic nail, the gel polish usually takes maybe 5 minutes for a professional to take it off. It took me about an hour. I was changing each bit, and I was going slow, and then I was going fast, and I didn't know which angle to do it. I didn't know to do it in reverse or forward or whatnot. But I'm sitting there, and I found that sometimes you do need to switch, if it's going in reverse or going forward, based on how you're holding your finger in the drill. And on my opposite finger, I like to hold the drill in place and move my dominant hand, as opposed to using my weaker hand to take off. Does that make sense? So when I finally got all the color off, I decided to shape my nails beforehand so I don't have to take all the layers off. I can just do it before and then add the layers on. So I decided to shorten it by pushing the drill into my nails to shorten it. I just said that. And then I used a hand file to make it the pointy shape, because you can use the actual drill itself, but I didn't want to accidentally go too far, because it would have been hard for me to add more product to the tip of my nails, because I'm just not that good, basically. So next comes the hardest part. I think everyone can agree with that. Using the liquid monomer with the brush to dip it into the powder to get the correct bead type. I did not do well with that. So I poured the liquid monomer into a ramekin that I was no longer using, no longer for cooking, it's just for this project. And the fumes filled the whole entire room. It smelled terrible. Hobby's dad was like, oh my god, the smell, because he was picking up Hobby for something. And so Hobby left, his dad left, even my cat left, not with them, but she went somewhere. She did not like the smell. And I'm sitting there putting, because the brush is super expensive. It was $25. I don't know if that's expensive to you, but that's expensive to me for one brush, jeez. So I dip the brush into the liquid, and making sure it doesn't harden on the brush, the powder, because that would ruin the brush. And I dip it in the powder, and I'm trying to get small beads, but the brush is so big and my fingernails are so small, and I apparently used too much liquid, so it was just really liquidy. In the end, it was a fun learning process. I want to say that it's best to use a smaller bead, which I'm sure you know that, but there's a difference between knowing in theory and knowing when you're actually physically doing it. So I knew to take smaller beads, but in my mind, like, you know when you're watching someone do it on camera, it's just very different than doing it in person. So I had a hard time with that. So I decided, let me just like pile on the product and then file it off after, because I spent like the last hour and a half filing my nails. I'm practically a pro at it, I'm just saying. So then I decided to acetone my hands, like put acetone on a piece of whatever and then wipe my fingers to see like where else I need to drill. Because dust does get everywhere and does get in your way. Did I say this? You should definitely wear goggles or glasses. I didn't have my glasses on that day, mistake. And a face mask. I used a bandana that I took from Hobby because I was gonna breathe all that in. So I filed some more after acetoning, and then after that I decided to wash my hands to take off all the dust to put like a very clean gel polish on. And I have the gel polish and I have the lamp. I put my first layer on and it looks a little wonky. I'm like, okay, trust the process, try to like see what it looks like during the next coat and see how you feel, because I had to go at that point. There's no way I was going to spend another like 2 hours filing it down again. And I cure it in the lamp. I press it for a minute. Normally it takes like 30 seconds, which is the best thing about gel. It only takes like a couple minutes to dry with the lamp, if that. And I take it out and it's tacky. It's like coming off my hand. It's not like completely wet, but it is tacky. And I figured maybe it's one of those like wipe off polishes where you're supposed to use alcohol. I used acetone, my bad. Alcohol to like take off the tackiness, but the color's still there. I didn't know that at the time, but I was furious. I was like, one coat under the lamp for like 3 minutes because it wouldn't dry, and then I was like, okay, let me clean it off, and the color's still on there, so let me do a second coat. And I put it under the lamp. I'm curing it, and it's taking forever and a half, and that was when I lost it. I was like, this is supposed to take 30 seconds, and then putting the top coat on is supposed to take a minute, or like a minute and a half. It's not supposed to take like 6 minutes just for the color, you know? I was so mad. So I did my other hand, and then they just weren't dried, and I'm like, you know what, let me not do the top coat. Let me just see how this like wears throughout the day. And after wiping it, it wasn't tacky anymore, but it was dull looking. I guess that's what the top coat is for, but that doesn't happen at my nail place. Why is it happening here? So Javi comes home, and I'm like really pissy at this point. I'm like, I think I was hungry too because the food like wore off. I get really hangry, by the way. So he comes home and I'm just like, no, I need to clean up. I need a vacuum. Where were you? I was a complete terrible person. So this is how it looked when I finished, and after showering, actually, like, I felt like my hands looked better, like the excess polish kind of like, you know, went down the drain. My pride came back, my ego came back, and I was like, okay, my feelings aren't too hurt anymore by like not reaching perfection. And I kind of wanted to let you guys know, because I feel like a lot of people on YouTube, when they show like my first time doing this, it comes out perfect. It's so good, and I'm over here like, why is mine not perfect? I don't know. I think we should not strive for perfection, but we should strive for learning. Anyhow, I redid my nails again the night before yesterday night, and I think it turned out better. So I'm sure the third time I do it, it would turn out great. And it did take me a while, but I did learn from my mistakes. Let me know if you want an update on that. Speaking of doing things at home, I also had this device. This is a at-home light hair remover. So you press the, I'm holding it the wrong way. You press the button and it flashes like a really bright light onto your follicles, and it's supposed to like be like laser hair removal. I did have laser hair removal too, so let me know if you want to hear about that. Is anyone still watching? Anyhow, thank you so much for watching. Please stick around with my channel to see where we go, and shoot me a message if you want someone to talk to, because I will respond, I promise. For now, at least. This is April 2020. I'm just saying.